Welcome back to the channel where we all can learn and grow together. Today I'm going to give a little bit of garden update, but I wanted to share with you something I got to thinking about. And with the gardening is I kind of like to share with you my kind of top picks for my must-haves when I go out to the garden. It's something my grandfather instilled in me growing up. So a lot of times when you venture out to the garden, it's nice to see all the growth and all your hard work come about and be able to harvest your fruit. But most of the time, the garden, you know, is still work, and you know, being able to take your tools out with you to be able to accomplish that, to me, is a must. So I'm gonna get into my top picks of my must-haves when I go out to the garden. Always got to have a good pair of work gloves to be able to use your tools, keep from getting calluses and stuff, especially if you end up planting a big garden. But a good pair of work gloves. I don't know if anybody around has Family Dollars, but I'm able to get these here as a 2-pack for $2.50 for a 2-pack of gloves, and they last me a pretty good, decent walk, you know, long while. So you don't need expensive gloves, but just some kind of work glove to me is a must for pulling weeds. Sometimes weeds have little stickers on them and they prick your finger and hurt. But good pair of work gloves is definitely a must in the garden. Another tool I like to always try and take with me, now this is a lot older one of mine, but a garden hoe, good thick handle and good thick metal, and where it's not two pieces where this comes out, you want it all one solid thick piece. And this one's a little more dirtier than I normally keep it, but I've been using it quite a bit. But I like a good garden hoe to be able to keep the weeds down as much as possible. And here lately we have been getting a good decent amount of rain, and this ground seems to be pretty fertile and pretty decent. So everything's growing really good, as you see from the background, and everything's growing good in the weeds. So even though it's a little spot, the weeds has been giving me a little bit of a challenge. There for a little bit we weren't getting any rain, and none of the weeds was going off. Suddenly they've been taking off like wildfire. So good garden hoe is a must. This here's a brand new tool to me. Well, I've used one before, but my other one was a cheaper one, so I got a, still not the best quality, but it's definitely better than the one I have, but a cultivating fork. These here two to me goes hand in hand. This takes care of the weeds. This also will take care of weeds, but not as good as a good garden hoe. But this does a really good job of cultivating and also aerating around the roots and around air and stuff to go get around the roots, and it also helps keep the soil loose. So these two definitely is a must in the garden. And I rarely ever, even when I'm harvesting, I rarely ever go out to the garden without at least having one or two, or most of the time both of them. So these I just have with my gloves sitting next to them, easy to reach. Out of all the garden tools that I have, the shovels, the pickaxes, the mattocks, and different tools I got, wheelbarrows and that, these two are definitely the ones I grab the most. And another tool I have This here, I got this little hand tool at Lowe's, but some kind of a hand, you know, spade shovel or little hand fork of any kind. I like this because it has, you know, a little shovel on one side. It's flat though, but it still works really good. It has your little fork on the other side, so you could dig and cultivate with it all on one tool. So I usually like to keep this close by in my back pocket, so if I need to whip it out. This is an excellent tool to have if you are growing in raised beds, or also like what I do, growing tires or also containers. This is an excellent tool to have in your arsenal for being able to go out and take care of weeds and cultivate in your soil in containers. So these three and the gloves is definitely, I would think, rated top on my list. If I'm heading out to the garden, I'm gonna go in there, grab these, grab my gloves, come out here, and I tell you what, being able to come out here in the garden is very therapeutic. Even if you could start learning how to grow, even if it's bell peppers, or just grow green onions. Green onions are very easy. Just being able to grow something and be able to accomplish growing that, I think, is very therapeutic. And sometimes it's challenging. You know, you're dealing with Mother Nature and also other critters and different things that wants to kind of come in and disrupt what you're doing, but still being able to watch something that you planted in the ground and have it come up and be able to put food on the table, I think is very therapeutic, and it's very encouraging for the soul also. And plus it kind of helps keep you from being bored, because it gives you one more thing to do and keeps your mind active. Well, I just wanted to show you a new addition to the garden, which is some sage. It's something I'm learning with. It's first time me trying to grow sage, so it's just going to take a learning process, but that's the joy of being able to try different things and learn different things, is, you know, the process of growing. But going to try and learn how to grow that, and keep trying each year with it, and see how it does, and learn how to dry it, and maybe we could start learning how to make our own seasonings and season our food with seasonings we grow. So just wanted to show you that, and also show you we got some good summer squash coming on. We also got some zucchini getting ready. It's probably looking a little bigger in the camera than what it really is, so, but I imagine tomorrow, either tomorrow or Thursday, it'll be ready to pick. Got a few more in that vine there. Definitely got some hot peppers coming. A lot of hot peppers. Peas are blooming nicely, and there's little bitty small peas too there. More peppers. A lot of peppers on the vine. And got some blooms through here, but also raise this up, got some baby green beans in here. Oh yeah, got some green beans. Got some more green beans in there. Right in through here. We got green beans on this vine. Oh yeah, got all kinds of green beans. All kinds of green beans. I love green beans. We'll put them green beans in a pressure cooker with some Joe bacon, some onions, and potatoes. Oh my goodness. Woo. Yeah, you talking about some meat in there. Got some wax beans. This again is my first year trying wax beans, but I thought it'd be nice to try a lot of new things, and it was inspired by my mother, who came up from Texas, who's also now turned me on to growing peas, so really appreciate that. And got the vines are small, but got cucumbers starting to grow. I love cucumbers. If you could grow it, I'll eat it. If I could grow it, I'll try it. That's for sure. Got some baby okra in there. Boy, I can't wait to have some fried okra. Boy, that okra sure do look nice. Boy, I'm so happy I got to grow garden this year. We even got grapes coming on. Yeah, everything's doing so good. This soil is turning out to be some really nice soil. These flowers I got planted, mother planted those. Wanted to do some flowers out here also with the garden. Encourage healthy insects, and got those flowers there. Rosemary's still doing good. We're gonna have to start picking and thinning out some of the thyme and basil. Got all kinds of parsley, and somewhere buried in the parsley some oregano, but definitely have to eventually start thinning that out and drying it and seasoning it. But pretty excited about that. Real happy I got to start learning to do herbs and grow my own seasonings. Look at these cherry tomatoes. A lot of blooms. Real happy with these tomato plants. Yeah. Got some cherry tomatoes coming through this way. Got some Better Boy tomatoes in here, right there. Really happy with these tomato plants. Got some blooms. Yes. Do some, move that on the inside there. But this is something I've tried with the tomato plants this year, and using this type of a tomato cage. I was doing tomato trellises, and even though that kind of worked, I'm real happy with the way these are doing. There's some other ways I've just learned on different ways of tying them up, so definitely learning a lot of different techniques out there to do with tomato plants. So but I'm real happy this year on how these has turned out, and I believe we'll definitely get us some good tomatoes coming out of here. Be able to have some fried green tomatoes. Oh yeah. And right here we did have cabbage, but they were getting ate up pretty bad. The inside basically was starting to rot. Wasn't producing, and the broccoli next to it was getting ate up pretty bad, so I pulled all that. I'm gonna compost it, so it's not gonna go to a total loss. It'll be able to compost and provide nutrients later on down the road. And what I'm gonna plant here is some more green onions and start another onion bed. So that'd be pretty cool to keep growing something in the tires, and we'll compost that and put it in the compost pile I started. So, but this is an update of the garden, and we're all pretty happy with everything. Now that we're on the back side, show you the little zucchinis in there. So yes, and one thing I love is my mother-in-law and my grandmother-in-law and my wife knows how to make the best zucchini bread. out there. I will argue that with anybody. Oh my goodness. So we will definitely be making some zucchini bread around here when the zucchini comes on. But just wanted to give you an update of the garden, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it encourages you, and I hope you're having a really good week so far, and I hope the rest of your week goes just as good. And just keep trying, and at first if you don't succeed, just keep trying until you do. Sometimes when you're making biscuits, sometimes you got to mess up a few batches of biscuits before you get it right. And then when you got it, you got it. So continue having a good week, find your star, reach your goals, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.